Well, if you're a very excited Sheffield United fan, you're in great company because the gap has already closed to Leeds. Welcome back to our Blades Walk. On this week's episode, we are talking about Tyrese Campbell. Is he one of the best strikers in the league now? Plus, who is our best right back when everyone's fit? We're putting those two questions to our panel of Blades fans, and we're asking everyone, including yourselves watching, please put in the comments who should be the February player of the month. Who is probably going to get it from the club, and who would you give it to? And we have predicted relegation. We've predicted who's going up. Now we're going to predict the playoff final. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Shex and Connor and Elliot and Dan. The full team is back with us this week, and of course we're recording this after the QPR win. Shax, before we get on to this week's content, we need to look back at last week's. And for those regular viewers, it can't have escaped your notice that we've been inundated with Leeds fans commenting about particularly some of the things you had to say last week, saying that you, who is this guy? He doesn't know what he's talking about. I just wanted to want to see if you wanted to, just at the start of this week's video, respond to any of that at all.
Just carry on. Carry on doing what you're doing. Don't bother me. Water off duck's bike. I'm not interested in anything that any of you've got to say. And there's a reason that you're universally hated, and it's because of comments that you come out with. Everybody hates Leeds. It's just wherever you go, everybody who watches a game as a neutral just says, "I hope Leeds lose." Why is that? Ask yourself, why is that?
It was interesting actually. Usually the Leeds fans are in the Sheffield United comments on Twitter. This week, strangely, they weren't there. I wonder why that was. There was this guy who actually says it's criminal.
They've already won league, haven't they?
Can I just say, Mark? Can I just say this? That's why there's a song named after them. Leeds are falling apart, and I still tell you this: that's what will happen because we will still win it. That's just saying. Wait for me to get it now.
There's another one. There's another song as well, Dan. It's "We All Hate Leeds."
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy says it's criminal. You're 3 points behind us. Only time you've looked half decent is against Borough. That was the only one. That's the only Leeds comment we could find this week. Right? They've gone back into hiding. Right. If you're a Leeds fan watching this, then do take us on because. It's entertaining. Right, let's focus actually on the football then, shall we? QPR, Connor, a good side, aren't they? Did you deserve to win that just?
I'd say we deserved to win it overall. I don't think we were 100% all game. A lot of times this season we don't seem to be at it the full 90, but we always get the job done. And we're the first team to win 5 away from home this season, I think in the top 3 leagues. So we can't really complain. There were some really good individual performances. Campbell with a great goal, and Vinny Souza bossed it again, like he always does. And like I say, we can't complain with the performance. I'd rather us grind these results out at the business end and put the performances in and not get the points.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. We have 5 consecutive victories on the road, as you say, Connor. I tell you what, Elliot, it'd be good if you get 6, won't it, next time out?
Oh, tell me about it. It'd be nice. We might be able to do it. Hopefully, there's no might about it. We will be able to get 6 easily. I'm happy with the past game against QPR. I thought we played really well. Campbell, what a player! What an absolute player. But yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. We played well.
That brings us nicely on to our first topic then, Dan. The question we're asking is he one of the best strikers in the whole league? Leonardo says he's well-deserved player of the match. He's one of the best strikers in the league. Finding his range again after unfortunate injury. And, I mean, bravo for the goal. That was some goal. Even better than Pirro's the other night. I'll give him that.
I think... from a neutral point of view, looking with his goals, what he scored, or the amount of goals what he scored, they'll say no. But for me, I think he's got everything. He's got the strength. He can run in behind. He can link up. He might have only scored 7 goals, but he's a massive impact for us when he plays. I think we're missing when he's not involved. But yeah, for me, I think he's he's potentially the one that gets over the line because I think he is one of them. He scored different goals, and that one the other day I don't even think that's a fluke how he's turning it. You can see that it's something he probably he's done before, but I'm pleased with him. Answer to your question, yeah, I'd say he is. I'm going to be biased, obviously, and say that, but I'd say he probably is one of the better forwards in the league, especially when he's cost us nothing as well. I mean, what else you're going to get that's cost us nothing in terms of transfer fees?
Before we get the Leeds fans saying, "Oh, he's not better than Pirro," and he's not better than, and Norwich fans coming on saying he's not better than Sargent or Saints Shack. So would you put him at the top? Was he in the top 3 strikers of the league or top 5? Where's he actually at for you?
I'm not sure. Obviously, I've only seen what everybody else has seen. He started off well. I think when he plays well, we play well, and them 7 goals that he scored, they're important goals as well. Like when we beat Wednesday, that goal to me that's probably going to be, depending on what happens at Hillsborough, that's probably the most important goal of the season for a lot of United fans. Yesterday, when it's getting hard, it just gives you that bit of a break. You know what I mean? It makes it 2-0. So he scored a lot of important. Them 7 goals, I'd say all 7 are all important. I'd like to see stats on how many points them goals have got us, because I reckon it'll be not far off 21.
Yeah, good shouts. Cheers for that, all of you. The other debate that raged this week was who was your best right back, Connor, because there was some discussion going on, of course, since Femi came on, and Callum here says he's our best right back when fit, and that caused some debate. So let's get into it. Connor, who is your best right back when everyone's fit?
For me, Sarika, definitely. I'm not really sure on Clark. I like that he wants to get forward and attack for us. And obviously Gilchrist didn't have that aspect. But Gilchrist, I found he was really obviously solid defensively. He just didn't offer anything going forward. Clark seems to be the other way. But again, I don't think he's all that going forward. Sarika, he just unreal. Every time he came on, like Swansea, terrible first half. Him and Campbell came on second half, unreal. How easily he can beat a man. It definitely reminds you of when we had Walker and Norton coming through the academy, and if we can develop him and turn him into anything like what Walker did, it could be unreal for us. And I'd rather play him. It's just like what it always is. It's injuries. If he could stay fit, if we had him fully fit for an entire season, I think we'd be a few points better off. It's just managing his fitness and his injuries at the minute that's the only downside to it.
Do you agree, Elliot?
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. I've said this to a lot of Blaze fans. I've said it on the podcast here before that Sariki is such a young player with such a hard-working mindset. He's like a train. He just doesn't want to stop when he gets the ball. If he loses the ball, he's straight on it, straight on the second ball, and he loves a good challenge. He's smart with his challenges as well. For a right back, and every time he's come on, he hasn't really picked up many cards. I just think overall, I agree with Connor with everything he said. Clark, he's good. If he could be defensive as he is a good attack, then he'd be in contention with Sariki. But for me, it's Sariki all day, every day. And I think he could do if he can get fit and carry on what he's doing, he could be absolutely tremendous for us.
Before we carry on, let us know in the comments your February player of the month. We're going to get these guys' views on it in a second. Dan, the only negative comments I could find this week surrounded one player. It was a player we discussed last week, but of course you were away, so I'll come to you for this one. Justin says Cannon is worse than Oliver Burke. I swear. Dan, discuss.
I really don't know what to say on this because I've not got a massive affection with our fan base, I'll be honest. The people that I sit around and the opinions they have, just because you've paid £10 million for a striker, let's throw the bucket in. I put a tweet out yesterday and I said, "Are we blaming for today's victory the gaffer or Tom Cannon?" It books another foot in it. But for me, he's been brought in. And when I listen to what Chris Wilder says, he's been brought in. He presses the line well. that's where the first goal come from against Middlesbrough, but there'll be people that are blind by that. I thought when he come on against Leeds, didn't really have much service, but again, he tried to do that. But for me, football's now evolved in terms of it's not just about scoring goals. You look at our team in general, and you've got Tyrese Campbell, Raksaki, Ema, 7. I think they're all 7 goals each. So I'm not. I don't buy into that. But what he does in the way we play, the way that we press, Tom Cannon's the best at that. And there'll be people that don't notice that. There'll be people that are blind by it. There'll be people that are ignorant by it. And when I see these comments, these people, I laugh because I think it's just they can't. When United win games and we play badly, they don't comment. They just think it's a win. We've been great. We've won. You know, I just ignore them because I know they don't know about football. Facts. They can come on here and argue with me. They'll lose because it's simple as that. I've you know, there's levels of football knowledge and they've got 0 when they're going to have opinions like that. But what's he done to say that? You know, all these years, all these people have backed Ryan Brewster. And I've got nothing against Ryan. It's not his fault he's got injured. But now they all want him to get a new contract because he's put a couple of good performances in. Come on. The boy's been here, 6 weeks? You know, don't get me started on it, Mark. But honestly,
great. We had it last week, and Shax and Elliot did very well to put that very same points that you've just done across really well. Shax, it's reverse then of the opening day of the season fixture this week. Obviously, Preston visiting. In that particular game, I remember one Brooks shining at Deepdale. This tweet from Callan says Brooks had an absolute stormer against West Brom at home and Watford away, and he's not had a chance in the team since. What's your understanding of what's going on with Brooks?
I'm not sure. I'm a Brooks fan. I think he's one of his own as well. I've seen him have off days, shall we say, but I've also seen him be brilliant and win games just about on his own. So might be a fitness thing. I've heard he's not the best trainer, but obviously they're all just rumours. But for me, he's definitely worthy of being on bench at least, and then he's another good option to have. I went to Watford away, and where I was sat, he were like second half. He was sort of attacking where I was sat, and I thought he were best player on pitch. I thought he was brilliant. I mean, he scored a cracker and all, but I think he's a good player. So I'm not too sure, but as they say, Wilder will know more than me, but it's probably not helping him that we signed Raksaki. Similar sort of player, both right wingers. Raksaki has chipped in with a few more goals. He's probably got slightly better stats than him, but if they were talking about 20, 30 million, what they supposedly turned down for Raksaki, then I've not seen anything to suggest that he's that much better than Brooks, if that makes sense. There's not that much in them two, I don't think.
Okay. Heckingbottom's back, Connor. This weekend he'll get a very good reception. I would be very surprised if he didn't. As he returns to the dugout, of course, with a Preston side, the only side left in the FA Cup, of course, from the Championship. Just put some words to the value of what Heckingbottom did for your club.
I think he did an unreal job, to be fair. Obviously, he came in after the Jukanovic sort of era, bringing him in and not bringing in the players he wanted. And then Eki steadied the ship. He knew the club in and out from being in the young side with the under-23s. And he's just fitting seamlessly. And we had that unreal run. I think if we had him from the start, we could have potentially gone up that season. And then to just carry it on into the next season, like nothing had changed. Obviously, working on a budget as well. He did an unreal job. Obviously, it didn't really work out in the Prem, but you can't really blame him with everything that happened behind the scenes with, obviously, the Prince with a money situation, selling and Dyer, Berg, that kind of thing. I think if he had the opportunity, we could have potentially had a good season. So it was unfortunate where it ended, but we can't fault him for what he did for the club. And wish him well, apart from obviously on Saturday. I hope we batter him.
Cheers, Connor. Well said. Elliot, does this fixture worry you slightly? given what sort of side Preston are, which they're not going to give. They don't get battered, Preston.
No, I'm not worried in the single bit, to be honest. I feel like if we can play the right team, the right players, then if anything, we'll be battering them. I'm going to say this on record now. I'm seeing it as a 3-0 win. Shoot me if you want. I think we'll batter them. It'll be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. They're pretty solid, especially in the midfield. But with the players and the quality we've got, if Wilder can play the right system, then hopefully it should be a walk in the park. But then again, it's Sheffield United, so you never really know what's going to happen until 10 minutes into the match. But I think we'll batter them, to be honest.
I think respectfully, you might not have watched too many Preston games recently, but I take your
I think just
red and white view done.
Just to touch on that, I think they're going against a little bit of what Elliot said. I think they're going to be very well organised, like Paul Heckingbottom's team's always been. He's not had a lot of money to spend there, and he's steadied the ship really, and they've. From when they started the season, I think we're going to be in for a tough game, and I think I think we'll win the game, but I think it's going to be by 1 goal. I genuinely do believe that he's going to come there. He knows a little bit of how we play, so they're going to try and stifle us in any way they can. But I mean, I hope Elliot's right, and we do roll them over 3-0. But knowing what Ecky's like and his teams, they're going to be very hard to beat, and like every game going forward now, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. This was the Sheffield United side that started the game at Deepdale. This is Shax. I mean, it almost looks unrecognisable now, doesn't it, to the team that you're going to probably be putting out on Saturday? What's your view of that team looking at it now compared to what you've been watching recently?
I think obviously now we're a different side to them. I went to that game as well. I thought we were brilliant that night. Friday night, first game. I think before everybody played, I thought we played really well that night, to be fair. But going back then, when you put them next 6 games up last week, when we had to pick them 6 games, I thought it weren't my chance to talk them, but I actually thought Preston were the toughest of them 6 games. I think I've watched a bit of Preston, and I think they're that type of team what we struggle against, like a Portsmouth, that type of team, the tough team to break down, and we're that team that's not prolific. We don't go and put 3, 4, 5 past somebody. So we get a lot of 1-0, 2-1s, things like that. So if we get a couple of chances, we're going to have to put them away against a team like them, because, like Dan says, Heckingbottom, their teams aren't getting your out away, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we have got a better side than last time we played them, but so have they. They've got a better manager, they've got better players, they've got better form. So I think we can beat them, but I reckon it's going to be tighter than what Elliot thinks anyway.
Yeah, well, our Burnley fans are saying this week they've got Cardiff and Luton. That's 6 points for them, and while you guys have got Preston, Leeds have got to travel to Pompey away. That's going to be tough for them. So our Burnley fans are already reckoning this is the weekend that everything levels itself up. We will
Burnley
see.
versus Luton. I fucking feel more depressing. Burnley versus Luton.
I think it just shows you in under a week how quickly things change when Leeds get a point against West Brom and we go and win at QPR, which I think was probably the hardest game to play in the division. When you've just lost at home to Leeds, you've got a good decent, again another decent solid side and good form at home. There's no easy games in this league, and I
said that last week, Dan. Eight days. In 8 days, you can play 3 games. You can be 4 points behind somebody, and in 8 days, you can be 5 points in front of them. That's championship, isn't it? That's why you love it.
I look at that 2-point deduction, and I keep going back to it. And you're 1 point off Leeds, and they've beat you twice. So I think it's going to be swings and roundabouts. I think the big game for us is if we can keep our form up going into the Burnley game. Somebody asked me the other day about it. We've got an easy running. I went, what? Sheffield Wednesday away, easy running. 2 home games. Bristol City is a bit of a bogey team to us. Just being realistic, Mark. You're playing your rivals. Don't matter how bad or what form they're in. they're going to be just as much up for it as we are. But it's, right up until Blackburn at the end of the season, if they can get in the playoffs, every game now, like you're saying about Portsmouth, Portsmouth can at home, they need points.
Yeah.
And what I think we touched on it last week. I think we know how good Leeds are. Let's be realistic. We know how good Leeds are, but I thought in that first half of that, I'm just rambling on a bit, but the first half of that, we went for their weak link, which is the goalkeeper, and it worked. But later on, obviously, we know what happened when it changed. But anything can happen. Look, I thought West Brom were unlucky not to beat Leeds yesterday as well. But we'll see what happens going forward. Just take it one game at a time. And if we can win his next 2 home games and go in against Wednesday, then we'll see where we are after that.
Thank you very much, all of you, for that. Of course, do join us next week because we will have a little owl joining us as well as we'll, of course, look forward and preview the derby. So
Which
join
one?
us. The nicer
Your best
one. Don't worry.
We got him with his teddy.
Not bringing you two together again.
Gonna hold his little flag.
A sensible owl. Right. Very quickly then, please, because we are a little bit short on time here. Give us your February player of the month. Do drop us a comment below so you think it should
City
be.
Pet.
City Pet. Elliot.
Tyrese Campbell.
Connor.
Brereton-Diaz.
And Shex.
Vinny Souza.
Brilliant. Okay. And finally this week, we predicted who goes down. We predicted who goes up. Now we're predicting the playoff final. Now the AFL have announced it's going to be Saturday, the 24th of May. Hopefully these guys won't be there and we're walking down Wembley Way there because you'll already be promoted and just watching on. So we're asking you, what would you like the playoff final to be? Who deserves to be there based on what you have seen so far? Connor, kick this off.
I'd say Sunderland, Coventry, and Sunderland to win it just because my mate supports Coventry, so I can laugh at him.
Fair dues. Dan?
I think based on the teams that have played us, I think we've had 2 really good games with West Brom. I think they could be a side that a bit of a dark horse, and I think obviously one of the others. I think whoever finishes third, I'm going to put my neck on line here. I think at Burnley, I think it might just be Burnley that finished third. I think potentially them and West Brom in final. But the 2 for me, I'd like to see West Brom against Coventry because I think, to be honest, he's had a lot of sticking past Frank Lampard, but I think he's gone in there and done a great job, to be honest. So I think them 2.
Elliot?
I'd say, to be honest, it's a bit of a probably people won't agree with it, but I'd probably say Middlesbrough and Burnley, to be honest, in the final. And I think Borough will end up beating Burnley and coming up with us, But Dan's got a solid point of West Brom. But no, for me, it would be Borough, Burnley.
Okay. Shax?
I'd like to see Bristol. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them. I think they're a proper club. And I'd like to see Sheffield Wednesday in final and Bristol beat them 5-0. That'd be my. I can't believe all of you missed them out. You've got he asked you who you'd like to see in final. You want Wednesday in final, and you want to watch them get battered and cry all the way up M1. And then they've got all summer hiding the Wednesday shirts, walking around the streets of Sheffield. We always like saying, "What would score, Paul? What would score?"
You know how it works now. We always leave them for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. Do drop us a like and do drop us a subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the month of March. Can you help us get there? Thank you very much for all the love and comments last week. Hopefully there'll be no Leeds fans in the comments this week. Fingers crossed. Cheers, Jack. Cheers, Connor. Cheers, Lecton. Thank you very much for watching and good luck, of course, this weekend against Preston. I think this is going to be a tough one. It's in my draw accumulator. See you next week.